Hey everyone, we are at Marshall Park. This is the first segment of the Fishing Madison's Chains of Lakes, which includes Monona, Mendota, Wingra, Kaganza, and Wabisa. We're going to spend quite a few episodes doing this. We're going to start with Mendota, the biggest of the lakes. We're going to go around to several points that I personally know of that fish very well. I have not fished all these points. I know them fairly well from other fishermen. I have fished many of these points, but not all of them. We're going to start with Marshall Park. And Marshall Park, I'm going to start fishing at the mouth of the lagoon because that is actually where some of the big game fish come in to actually get the panfish. If you look behind me, we have the sunrise. The sun about to rise in like 20 minutes. That's why the color is like that. It's really beautiful. And we're gonna fish the mouth of the lagoon right over there. That's the lagoon, but we're gonna fish the mouth right behind me. Should have went to the other side because there's an actual access dock, but I'm gonna fish from the rocks. There should be panfish and some game fish here. We'll see. We'll go for both and see what we can get. You can see there is a sunrise here, and we are going to fish into the sunrise. Hopefully we can get a fish so my expedition here will be as glorious as the sunrise, or at least not completely disastrous. And we already have a fish. It looks like a spotted bass, actually. Looks like a spotted, well, I don't actually know what the species is, but it's a bass. It doesn't really look like a largemouth because it has the stripes. I think it's a spotted bass. I'm not really sure what it is. So fishing off these rocks does actually work for small fish. Let's try to get another one. But there seems to be a good supply of fish here that are going to be extremely interested in my bait. And it's another bass. It's another bass. It's the same species of bass. It's a small bass. It's the same species of bass. Not sure what the species is. I think it's a smallmouth. This one doesn't quite have the upper fins. Let me know if you know what this species is. I think it's a smallmouth. Let's try getting casting under these boats. I have a feeling fish are dying for shade, so casting under these boats might bring us some luck. Oh, got one. Yeah, baby. There are a bunch of these striped bass thingies, bass with stripes under the boats. Would you check that out? I think that's a smallmouth. I don't exactly know what bass it is. Goodbye. Quack, quack, quack to you too, duck. Oh, look at that, flying duck of death. Anyways, we are going to leave Marshall Park. Now, we caught like 7 of those things. I know I only filmed 3 or 4. Caught several of those fish within an hour, and but nothing big. Like, essentially not big enough to keep, obviously. But we're going to go on to Mendota Park now, which is the next destination. And there is a channel there I do want to fish. I've always fished it like in mid-afternoon. I've never been successful at catching things from the channel, but maybe this time it'll be different. And but first, because of COVID, I don't think any of the restrooms are open, and I live like 2 minutes away, so we're gonna go home and go to the restroom first. We are at the Yahara River Bridge on Highway 113. This is where the Yahara enters Lake Mendota. The water is about 25 feet deep. And that means, yes, that's right, that means channel catfish, which is what we're here for. But we're also going to toss for a little bit of bass. Well, the catfish did not bite. You know what sucks and it's really challenging about fishing during the summer? The algal blooms. They've basically blanketed the shorelines of Lake Mendota. And since I don't have a boat, I'm confined to casting from shore. Now, that means that when I went to Mendota Park, Governor Nelson's and Warner Park, they were unfishable because it was disgusting and smelly and stuff. And also there were no fish there. I tried, didn't really work. So we're heading to Tenny Park where there is a strong moving current with the Yahara River, and hopefully we'll actually get some fish there. Yeah, you need places with a moving current or where the water's deep so you don't have the plague of algal blooms. So I'll see you at Tenny Park. We are at Tenny Park. I'm gonna go fish in the river behind me. The water quality here isn't as bad, but I do notice that there is a big ass carp in the pond over there. So eventually we're just gonna toss a big giant piece of Spam over there and see if he actually picks it up. That carp will probably snap my rod, but if you're a glory fisherman like me, that is hardly a significant piece of knowledge. All right, will these gills hit this tiny piece of hot dog I have on the hook? I know that the other sunfish over at the other place love the KFC, so I don't know if these guys will actually hit the piece of hot dog that I attached. Oh, got one. Yep, the bluegill, the sunfish, whatever, they will actually bite the hot dogs. He got back in the water. Now they will bite the hot dogs. He didn't actually eat the hot dog though. Now, since they will bite the hot dog, will they bite the pink gulpworm? Or will the sheephead bite it? Because that is actually a significant fish. Got one, yep. They'll bite the worm too, obviously. The bluegill and everything will bite the worm. Check that out. All right, we are here at Lake Wingra. This is the Wingra boat ramp thing. Surprised that very few people are actually fishing here. This is actually a pretty good spot. I've actually caught a decent bass out here before. So we're gonna cast here and then see what we can get. I see a lot of sunfish here and not too many bass. Actually, I don't see any bass, but it's what it was last time too. And then, you know, the bass just came and bit it. Oh, got one. Oh, yes, a largemouth bass, little swim jig.
Switch around.
No, it's a fake minnow. It's a largemouth bass. Yes, largemouth bass. There you go. One or two more casts over here. I'll try that cast over the boat dock and then I'll go to the other location that's accessible from here because oh geez, that's not gonna work. Okay, get close to there as possible, I guess. Oh, got one. Oh, that is a bass. Awesome. They're all small ones. It's another bass. Nifty. Oops, there you go. Take this hiking trail about maybe 2/10 of a mile. There is a pond, and if you cast to the side of that pond, you will get a bass generally. So I don't really know if they're largemouths or if they're smallmouths or whatever, but I've caught several bass over at this pond. So let's go over here. This is a kind of like a hidden location on Lake Wingra that some people will know, other people will not. This time the lagoon did not produce on Lake Wingra. Probably a little too hot today, so my guess is the larger fish all went to deeper water. The lagoon is fairly shallow, and so like the biggest thing there were the juvenile bass, which I did manage to sort of get one, but I did not manage to actually pull it in. So that lagoon is a fun place to fish, and if it's a cooler day, you will probably get a couple. But right now, we're gonna head to other parts of Lake Wingra where we can actually catch some fish, hopefully. We are here at the bridge that divides Monona Bay from Lake Monona, and we're here to fish the third of the Madison chain of lakes. So far, Wingra has only produced 2 largemouth bass, and Mendota has only produced 7 yellow perch and about 3 sunfishes. Kind of disappointing, but hopefully we will actually rectify that all right now. All right, at Monona Bay, well, not at Monona Bay, but at Monona, we have finally gotten a fish. Had to turn on just as I got the fish, and it is indeed a largemouth bass, and it is actually a sizable largemouth bass. This is significant, guys. A significant largemouth bass. A significant largemouth bass. I don't know if this is the largest one I caught this week, but look at that. That is a sizable largemouth. Check that out, a sizable largemouth. 1.54 pounds. A decent largemouth bass, 1.54. All right, bass, it's time for you to go back in the water. All right, bass, here you go. Back in the water you go. Back in the water, you'll be fine. All right, it's swimming away. It's doing well, largemouth bass. All right.
Oh, that's a biggie.
Tenny Lagoon at break. See ya. See if I can get any kind of a bass here at Tenny Lagoon. Be hilarious if you foul hooked one of the carp. That was good. That was probably a bass.
Bro, he took my whole hook.
Your string snapped.
That was a big fish.
It was. Your string snapped.
What type of GoPro is that?
5. Bought it from someone else online.
Are you doing like YouTube?
Yeah, I'm doing a video, except like today sucked, so I don't really have much of a video. Oh, I got one. No. Oh, sweet. It's I don't know what that is actually. Oh, it's a crappie. It's a crappie. It's a crappie.
Oh,
it's a crappie. It's a crappie. I've never caught a crappie in here. I caught a crappie. Oh. It's a small one though. It's a small crappie. Interesting. I did not know crappie existed in this lagoon. The only type of small fish that can actually bite this lure. See a crappie. Cool. A crappie. Let's see what else we can catch. Ah, these gnats suck. Thought I hooked some weeds as well. Oh, I got another one. Oh, crap. It's probably another crappie. Oh, got one. All right, it's another crappie. It's another crappie. Crappie biting after dark. Oh, there you go, fish. Another crappie bite.
That crappie bait, try it.
Crappie really like minnows. I know that much. That's like 3 crappies hooked in like 10 minutes. So,
I'm using stuff like this.
oh, dang. Lost it.
Oh, I can feel it moving.
Shoot. There we go. I think I got one. Yes. Oh, this one's a big one. This is a bass. Oh, can someone get the net? Actually, that's a good bass. Oh yeah. It's a nice bass. It's a very nice bass. Largemouth bass, largemouth bass. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, we're back at home, but that was definitely a fun day. Started off really fast, 7 perch at Lake Mendota. Didn't really get too much like in the middle of the day. A couple of bluegills, 2 bass at Wingra. And that nice bass at Monona at 1.54. I think that was the biggest bass of the day. But we did catch a lot of fish in succession at the end of the day. There was 2 crappie and that largemouth bass. I think that was slightly smaller than the one we caught at Monona, probably slightly over a pound. Didn't really want to wait. Wanted to get the fish back in the water very quickly. I wasn't even going to try. I was actually just going to go home. I was disappointed. I was actually really disappointed. Before I caught those 3 fish, and I wasn't even going to try Tenny Lagoon because I thought there was nothing but crappy little fish in there. But I saw that one kid actually hook like a large bass. He was using one of those like $9, I guess like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or Hello Kitty rod thingies. So it actually the bass actually broke its string. But after I saw that, I'm like, oh, there's some decent fish in this lagoon, especially after dark. So I cast it out, got my 2 crappie, and got that 1 nice bass. So it ended actually really, the action actually ended really well, and it started really well. In the middle, meh. I'm a little upset I didn't get that catfish at Highway 113 Bridge, but nothing was just really biting towards the middle of the day because it was a really hot day. So that's a great fishing adventure for right now. Hope you enjoyed this video, and have a nice day until next time, guys.